Okay. Oh, we're live. Okay. Sammy Fillmore.
Kira Bowen.
Sonia Servin.
Grace Acker.
Christine Andreassian.
All right. So let me get this pulled up really fast.
Were you able to work iLearn, Sammy?
Yeah, I think it's just slow. It's working now. Okay. Round one. I feel like I should have a bell. Okay. Round one. Spokesperson one provides an opening statement. Humanist first, then religionist. All right. Humanist, you're up.
I'm a part of the humanist team. I don't know if we discussed who is going to be the spokesperson. I just noticed the discussion board, but I can provide it if no one has it.
Sure, go for it. Well, I'm not on your team. I mean, I am, but anyway.
I say go for it.
So, humanists believe that a society should coexist with different individuals. No religion, political matters, or economic power should divide people. Creativity is what is the driving force to create a stable society. Okay, that's all.
Okay. And then this is me, right, Sonia? Our opening statement. Spokesperson one. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, our opening statement deals with why we need religion. Religion was the reason that this country was basically founded. The Pilgrims came over and they for religious freedom, so they could practice as they saw fit. And the first article of the Constitution was all about religion, and these people who wrote the Constitution designed it with that in mind, that they would be able to let every man choose what he wanted to believe as far as religion goes. All right.
Do we continue? Do we say something in regards to that point? Sorry. Are we good to go? In response, from the humanist perspective to the religious freedom side, just because something has already coexisted doesn't mean that it is or should be a stable force in society. Progressive change is needed, and therefore a humanist perspective should be considered.
I did cross-examination until around 3, but that was a good point, Christine.
Oh, that was just practice.
Yes, I like it.
I have this quote that I want to use from the article. I can't find it though. I'm sorry, I'm failing at this. I can't find it. I'm sorry. I think that things do evolve and they do change, so I agree with you there. At the same time, this is something that's been around for thousands of years, so I guess the phrase that really comes to my mind is why mess with success? I feel like religion brings peace and morality into lives, and because there's freedom of religion, each person is free to choose whether or not they want to evolve or change their their religious views.
All right, are we supposed to do a round 2 statement?
Yes,
Is
round
this-
2. Ding!
This is like the most awkward thing. Okay, do you want me to do it, Grace or Christine, or do either of you have something fabulous prepared?
I mean, you can go for it. I can wrap it up if you want to do the main points, and then I'll close it for us.
I only have one main point if you don't hit it.
Okay, all right. Will you guys fill in the gaps
Hit it, Kira.
anywhere this, because I just have a couple of notes. All right. I think that religion in general holds a person back, that it makes them unproductive citizens, that their religion makes them feel like, if they do something that is bad according to their religion, that it makes them feel bad about themselves, and who has time for that? Life is not about feeling bad about yourself and about the choices that you make or trying to please other people. People should not have any type of restrictions put on them whatsoever. We should really balance our society in every way, in education, in morals, in finances. Everybody deserves the same shot at everything. We shouldn't have any type of restrictions put on us whatsoever, aside from, not injuring other people or keeping, obviously we can't go killing people, but we shouldn't have any type of restrictions put on us. Religion is a waste of time, since there's no, next life that we have to get to, or there's no such thing as prophets receiving revelation to guide us. Therefore, I think that people should be able to make whatever decisions they want about anything, whether it be, on the moral front. When it comes to people's sexuality, we shouldn't, as long as people, why do we care what other people do? It shouldn't matter with any two consenting people. It shouldn't matter. And in general, I just think that religion itself is an inhibiting part of life.
And to add to this, as stated from the Humanist Manifesto, first, individuals should be encouraged to realize their own creative talents and desires. Therefore, we reject religions. And that's just one side of what we reject on the Humanist Manifesto. In sexuality, we believe in being tolerant to all attitudes except for explicit, disengaging forms of sexual expression. We believe that we need to evaluate economic systems not by rhetoric or ideology, but by whether or not they increase economic well-being, and there should be a balance in that. And that moral equality must be furthered through elimination of discrimination. And lastly, that there should be universal education. So morals, sexuality, universal education, and economic matters to minimize poverty and hardship, and the gap between the rich and poor. This is what we stand for as humanists.
All right, Sonia, you're up.
All right. So, for the religionists, as Sammy had already said, that America was founded because we needed religious freedom. The colonies, they had come to this continent to be able to practice their religious faith without persecution, and their successors deliberately placed religious freedom first in the nation's Bill of Rights. So it's our national law formally declares the right to freedom of religion undergirds the very origin and existence of the United States. And also, to exercise religion, there's two parts. There's choosing a religious belief and the right to practice that belief. And with that, some religious acts, as in exercising that belief, are not in compliance with the health and safety of everyone in the country, such as if people are having human sacrifices or things like that, that's unacceptable, and that's when government needs to step in and regulate. And with our religion, as a religionist, we agree with that, and that the government should be able to step in and regulate, but only when religious acts threaten the health and safety of all. Also, religious beliefs are protected by government actions, and like I had said, the protections should have limits. But unless religion is protected from the government actions, when their practices do not harm anyone or jeopardize anyone's safety, then what's the importance of religious freedom? Such as Mormons, we believe in marriage between a man and a woman, and just because we don't think that gays should be able to get married, only because it can infringe on our rights, because they may come to us forcing us to make gays get married, or they may dissolve our religion because we don't agree with the whole. And because of that, religious belief needs to be protected when religions don't agree with powerful forces in society. When the majority, when the people in charge don't agree with us, that's when we need it to be protected most, especially if what we believe in doesn't harm others that around us. And our values differ because we think that homosexual behavior is a sin, and just because we think that we should be protected from having to dissolve our religion or having to make gays get married in our religion, because we don't agree with that, and we should be protected because of that. And religious freedom is a fragile freedom, and it's best preserved when it's not employed beyond its intended purpose. And its intended purpose was to protect religion. And Sammy, did you have anything to add?
Amen.
Amen. All right, that's it for me then, round 3.
Okay, so is this where we wrap it up?
This is cross-examination, so this is when we hammer them with questions and we do it back and forth.
death.
Yes.
Okay, then I'll ask a question to Sammy and Sonia since I haven't gone yet. So, Sammy and Sonia, our opinion as humanists is that religion is restrictive. Like, it was fabulous when they founded this country. It was something that enabled the people to be progressive and be creative with who they are and get to know who they were on the inside. But now it's not progressive anymore. It's restricting us as a society because it makes us fearful of this supernatural being that can't be proved to even be like real. Your feelings are the only thing that people have to prove of this supernatural being. And since it can be proved that he's even real, why are we sitting around in fear of it? It's making people not push themselves to their limit because they just think the world is ending soon. So can you tell me how religion is beneficial to us now when it seems that it's just holding everybody back?
Well, it's not like we're forced to believe in any specific religion. Those who believe in religions choose to, and also freedom of religion includes the freedom from religion, which is the atheist belief, and we agree that they're allowed to choose if they don't want to believe. But I think it's wrong that you don't think anyone should be able to believe. if they want to.
I didn't say I thought it was wrong, Sonia. I thought that I said that I think it's holding everyone back. That your ideas are making laws that are saying that people can't be free. They can't be sexually free with their feelings with whoever they want to be, and they can't have abortions if they want abortions. We shouldn't be restricted that way. We should be able to be expressive of ourselves and who we are really, and be respectful of nature, and be able to focus on life, not on if there's a heaven or a hell, or whether on sins. We should just be respectful of each other as people, not as like eternal beings.
Well, do you believe that abortions are natural?
Y'all want me to answer that too, or does Christina or Kira have anything they want to say? I don't want to dominate this conversation.
This is open for discussion, questioning and answering.
Yes, it's freedom of expression, and it's freedom of expressing one's personal desire to not have any children. And yeah,
Well,
so
but
it is natural. It is natural because it comes from within, and it's a choice that is cultivated through creativity, with thought, and it comes from within. So.
Well, and it's our right because it's the woman's body that we're talking about. So who's to tell me what I can or cannot do with my own body?
Okay, so I'm going to help them out because I had an idea. I was like, oh, well, if they believe in that, then that probably doesn't make sense. Because, like, with humanists, they don't care what happens before this life or what happens after. They just care about what's happening now. So they don't care where the baby came from or where it's going. They don't.
And there's no accountability anyway.
That's why
I'm only accountable to my own individual self, and whatever I want to do with myself, I'm not accountable to anybody else.
We don't care about you, Sonia, and how you feel. We just want what we want.
You make the good.
It's better for everybody.
But I care in terms of the creative expression that you offer the world, and if you use that creativity and the talents to enhance your world, to enhance technology and create universal education, I care about that. And if you have too much income, then that needs to not happen, because there should be economic balance. And so I care if you have too much money, and if you're not contributing in a creative way with your talents.
You don't have to worry about you having too much income.
Are humanists kind of like communists then? What's the difference between a humanist and a communist?
I don't know, but we should all really have some of those little horns. Grace, you should have really hooked us up with that.
I just needed to get my point across that I'm playing this part, guys.
I believe in progression.
Yeah, I was just about to read something on here where it says that we want to achieve and we want to progress in life, like right now, and that we're committed to an open and democratic society. Like, we want everyone to have their feelings and their needs taken care of, and like to develop their values and their goals and that sort of thing, but only as it like in respect to nature and to the individual and the beneficial of all people, not just those who are in charge or those who are religious and their strong beliefs, but that it has to be what's best for everyone, and what's best for everyone is a natural, humanistic ideal that we all just respect each other's individualism and our creatism and our talents and what we can achieve in this life, and not trying to determine where people are going in the next life by restricting them with religion, I guess.
It comes down to we have one life, and we should live it however we want, but we don't really need to answer to anybody else. There's no God watching over us. There's nobody, guiding us. We just have to become whatever we want to become.
And because we don't have to answer to anyone, we are done answering your question.
Nice halo, Sonia.
I like your horns too.
YOLO, right? So, well, I guess what I'm trying to figure out then is if you're so respectful of people and their choices and how they find their morals and creative values, why are you not judging me, but why are you restricting me if I am able to find my creativity and my peace and happiness through my religion?
Well, nowhere in the manifesto it said that we want to force you not to have religion. We're just saying as a whole it is detrimental to society, that religion is not beneficial. And for you to have religion is not really good for all of us. You're holding us back, Sandy. Okay.
And it's actually damaging to you.
Yeah. And the rest of us. You are causing problems. But you can believe it if you want, but it's not good for the rest of us.
So my religion is damaging to you? Is that what I'm understanding?
Because you are voting against my beliefs by saying that same-sex people can't get married and people can't abort their children and whatever else you believe that I disagree with. You're holding us back as creative people. You're not allowing us to experience ourselves fully with your religion.
And I think it's actually damaging to you as an individual because you're spending too much time worrying about what God thinks of you and your consequences when they don't actually exist. So you'd be a lot happier if you just didn't worry about those things and just blossom into a little flower of whatever you want to be. But there's no consequences, no nothing. It's really damaging that you worry about these things.
Connect with nature. You find spirituality in nature, not in any god.
I agree you can find spirituality in nature, but it's because you can see the hand of God that had created nature. And I also think that it's damaging that what you guys believe in, because you're holding yourself back from all these blessings that you can receive. And you're trying to look past and say that your actions are okay, but deep down within, you know that they're not. And you can feel that. But you try to deny it and try to say, well, I can be happy because this life only matters. And you're just rejecting what's natural, well, what should be natural. And once you reject it so often, you forget that light that you once had inside of you.
I mean,
Like my own
Sonia, that was
blessing.
so sweet. Go ahead, Christine. Sorry. I just thought that was sweet.
We create our own blessings.
And we don't. There you are, Sonia, letting your feelings get control of you again. Those pesky feelings from that supernatural being that you believe in that you can't prove exist. Those blessings that you're talking about that could just be completely luck in your life that you can't prove those are blessings from anyone. They could just be lucky circumstance. And we're not affecting your life really in any way. We want to help you live your life fully and in the best way possible, not worrying so much about all that fake stuff, that religious garbage. Come on, Sonia. Put on those devil horns. Come on over to this side.
Well, okay, Grace, how can you tell me that they aren't? Can you prove to me that there's not a God? I mean, yeah.
Hey, I'm not a scientist, but I bet I could prove some sort of Big Bang Theory if I had researched that. These people, they are good at their garbage. Don't make me
Hey,
go against my own side, Sammy. I'm trying to stick with it.
I believe in the Big Bang Theory, and I still believe in God. So, you'll have to find something else for me.
I'm not going to go that far.
Should we wrap up? Go to the third one or fourth? Which one is it?
I think we actually need to cross-examine them. Have we done that?
Yeah, that's these questions.
Well, they've been just asking us questions. We need to find the
Okay.
holes.
I think we've kind of both been.
Did we kind of both do it both ways?
Yeah,
We're covered.
we kind of mushed it.
Okay.
All right, let's hear your closing statements. However you interpret that.
We believe in creating a society that is promoting the love of individual growth, sharing of talent, universal education, continual progression with technology, and an elimination of poverty, which can be established by regulating economic means. Religion should have no place in this, and this is an ideal society.
On the religionist side, we believe that we came to America to have religious freedom, that although religions have to have the religious freedom means having the right to choose to believe and the right to practice, and that some practices are not appropriate, and that they should have limits, but unless actions do not violate the health and safety of all, then they should be able to be practiced. And also that religious beliefs should especially be protected when other powerful forces in society do not agree with us, and that our values differ because we don't agree with same-sex marriage and we believe that it's a sin, and that our fragile freedoms are best preserved when they're not used for purposes that go against what they meant in the first place. So they should stay there the way they are. The end.
Okay, I'm just gonna find what Josh said so I can just say it because I guess that kind of goes off with what you were saying, so yeah. If it ever loads. Okay.
I got it.
I was gonna say, I just have it. I just found it.
It says, okay.
Okay, Josh says, I'm for traditional marriage. All children deserve a chance at a life with a father and a mother. I am a proponent of adoption of children of husbands and wives. There you go. Okay, so now that we've got all that fun stuff taken care of, here are the wrap-up questions. Do you think the authors of your article were taking the moral high ground, or making a moral statement? Why or why not?
First of all, someone explain to me what that means. What's the
Can
difference
you repeat
between...
it?
Yeah. Do you think the authors of your article were taking the moral high ground or making a moral statement? Why or why not? I guess I think it's kind of both. Like, Elder Oaks, I mean, he's, pretty blunt about stuff, and so he is making this moral statement like we believe a man and a woman, are to be married, and because he talks about Prop 8 a lot in his article. But he also takes, I guess, the moral high ground as, he talks about how even in debates, like, we should be showing an attitude of love, of patience. So I guess that's really what it means to me. I guess interpret it how you will.
Moral high ground, to in my definition would be like that there's a person who's like respecting a certain moral or adhering to it, like taking a moral that they already believe and then making sure they stay with it and respecting it, and I don't know, it's more like upholding something, I guess, whereas a moral statement is where I think is where kind of where the manifesto is coming, like where they're declaring these are our morals, this is what we believe, and they're kind of introducing or stating something different from, what they believed before, I guess. I don't know if I explained that very good.
No, I agree. I also feel like in their opinion, they might be taking a moral high ground as well because they've rationalized it that it's for the betterment of everyone.
When I think they might see it, these crazy people, that they are taking high ground, like you say, because they're kind of saying, whoa, 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 everybody can believe whatever they want. We're just going to let everybody. I think in their mind, they're seeing that as a high ground of like, we're not going to hold anybody to anything, so we can let whatever fly.
Guys, Urban Dictionary told me what moral high ground means. Taking a stance of being morally right in order to be viewed by your peers of being a good person. Most people just use the moral high ground as an attempt to look good in an argument. There you go.
The humanist perspective is not about any morals. It's just about some ideals that are going to be beneficial to society. So it's neither morals nor moral high ground. It's just certain ideals. I guess
We
it
don't
can
have
fall
morals
under.
or values.
You're like
Well, we
anti-morals.
value technology. We value
And
dealing with
progression and
poverty.
talent,
Yeah,
creativity.
we value like dealing with creativity and eliminating poverty. It says that it says universal education. So like those are things that we value, but we don't like dictate necessarily the action to go about that.
Yeah, we're smart, is what she's trying to say, and y'all aren't.
But yet, we're very much on moral high ground.
Okay, the next question is, are religious folks the only ones with values and morals? Can morality exist without religion? Why or why not?
Yes, it can exist because there can be people who don't believe in God but still believe in right and wrong. And the right and wrong that's natural to them. Like for instance, no one like religion often you can often find like kind people and people that try to be a bit more patient and more loving, more forgiving, rather than be aggressive and backstab to get ahead and things like that. So just because someone doesn't believe in a God doesn't mean that they're going to go out and like push someone. They'll like help someone get up who has like fallen down or something like that. So it's like it's not like right or wrong can still have take place even without um, a necessary religion because they're still good people even though they don't believe in religion.
Honestly, if that were not the case, we would be a serious mess because, in my own community, the percentage of people who are like actively religious, I have no idea what that percentage is, but I think in general it's declining everywhere. And if there were no like morals or right or wrong without religion, that would be seriously scary. We better be ready to like be stoned and have our houses burnt down or something.
Yeah, I agree. You can find good people anywhere, even in the gay community. There's good people. Just because people that don't agree with all of our values or morals doesn't make them bad, and it doesn't make them evil or not blessed because they don't believe, they still, there's still people that receive blessings even when they don't believe in our religion. They're still good people, and they're blessed for their efforts.
They're blessed, and they're not bad, but I wouldn't say it makes them smart. Right, guys?
I agree. I think, you can find those people everywhere. People have values, and they can exist without religion. At the same time, I think that religion amplifies that probably because not that you're doing it for, I don't know where I'm going with this. But, they exist. Religion just Helps it
Religion
along.
helps the moral compass.
Yes, it
Go
does.
and learn about what's right and wrong, and we always have it on our minds, kind of ingrained in us. And we're more attuned to listening to like, oh, I shouldn't do that, or just little things like that.
Extra accountability.
Hopefully, we're more attuned to listening to that. Sometimes I hear it a lot, but I don't listen to it as much as I should.
Awesome. Any other thoughts before we wrap this up? We're done.
I was gonna say something, but I
Go
don't know
for
if I agree with it. But that not all religious people are good as well. That they can always just be putting on a front and not live up to what they say.
Very good point. Probably the best point to conclude the whole thing is that there's good and bad in both religious people and non-religious people. So it isn't really the religion that makes somebody good or bad. There's a lot more that goes into it.
And it's never our choice to deem who's good or who's bad. It's just our responsibility to love.
And forgive.
All right. I think that's a good place to end. All right, guys. Let me go ahead and stop this thing.